Underwater tonight following heavy overnight rains. Extensive flooding has occurred in many areas, forcing residents to evacuate their homes and seek shelter on higher ground. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Live at 5:30. Floodwaters are standing at a height over a foot this evening. Trion, Georgia, one of the hardest hit areas. Earth dikes to a dam on the Chattooga River gave way to forceful waters, flooding much of Trion. Matter of fact, James has been on the scene in Trion since about 3 o'clock this morning, nonstop. Let's go to James and Cindy now in Trion. We're going to talk with Cindy first. And what's the situation right now, Cindy?
David, the latest that we have right now is that they have recovered the body of the man that we were told earlier that was missing. He is 43-year-old Jerry Crow. Officials tell us that he was driving along Tate Road and his car was washed out, that apparently Crow tried to get out of the car and walk, and he was swept away by the water.
150 people had to be evacuated from this area. They've been put up in a nearby high school, and they were forced from their homes as the floodwaters covered a large portion of Trion. Now, when the waters started rising between 4 and 5 o'clock this morning, defense workers broadcast emergency warnings. They even went door to door telling people it was time to leave their homes. Now, some of them heeded that warning, others didn't. But nobody was prepared for what was to come, because in the space of just a few hours, a large portion of Trion was underwater. And evacuate residents. Over 700...
Trion's worst flood ever recorded. Like a thief in the early morning hours of Friday, February the 16th, the murky waters of the usually peaceful Chattooga River suddenly changed to a vengeful, raging torrent, backed by an unbelievable 10.5 inches of rain that it was said shot a 10-foot wall of water over the dam, and in just 10 minutes, shortly after 5 a.m. on that Friday morning, water rose 3 feet more than the already overflowing river. Behind the Regal Mills and into the Trion High School and the Trion Elementary Schools, all along Park Avenue and into the Presbyterian Church at the red lights on Allgood Street. Never has the people here been threatened like such, but now it was nearly 4 feet deep in the brick apartments on Park Avenue, in the homes on the east side of Marsh Avenue, with those poor souls in Frogtown completely inundated in every house of 1st Street, 2nd Street, down to the river's edge, Georgia Street, and Alabama Street. The community center gym and offices, the ball fields, and on past the first 2 or 3 houses on DeForest Avenue. By 10 a.m., water was on past the Presbyterian Church by 2 houses and was approximately 45 inches deep at the red lights on Park Avenue at Allgood Street. Trion City Hall, now just 12 years from the building date of 1977, was elevated so that it was much higher than floodwaters had ever been known. But this greatest flood ever, February 1990, was 20 inches deep in the band room, the police and maintenance, the gas department, and City Hall council rooms, Mayor Hort Williams' office, and the other city offices. The old Regal Hospital, now the offices of Dr. Gary Smith and Dr. Kurt Kruger. The water reached approximately 3 feet deep, destroying a lifetime of records, furniture, dental, and doctor's equipment, as outside the waters lapped at least 4 feet in depth. On Park Avenue, Marsh Avenue, as well as the homes of Frogtown, it was so devastating. Where pride of the years had gone into room additions, new flooring, carpeting, stoves, new refrigerators, freezers, big screen TVs, VCRs, automobiles that had suddenly been locked in the murky waters never had a chance to be driven out of this holocaust. And this never dreamed of destruction as it hit. At the Trion schools and Mr. Bill Kinsey's fine new superintendent of schools facility, the devastated equipments, books, carpets, desks, and supplies was estimated at more than 90% loss. When we have seen the utter destruction of tornadoes, fires, and earthquakes on television, we did not realize floodwaters could be so devastating. According to information from many of us blessed with residence above what was called the 100-year floodplain, the sudden impact came within minutes of the 5 a.m. time span. As within 90 minutes, rescue efforts began for every person in Frogtown, the brick apartments of Park Avenue, and everyone on the east side of Old Marsh Avenue. People upstairs in those brick apartments, some remained until after 9 a.m. The news media came pouring in about 8 a.m., and throughout the day, every hour, live coverage went out. At least 11 television stations were noted on the scene, including the CNN network, NBC, CBS out of New York, and ABC. During the day, our people were receiving calls from such places as Florida, Michigan, Colorado, Washington State, California, and Germany. Bill Schieffer for Dan Rather on the CBS National News at 7 p.m. in the evening carried Trion's story. The network splashed the Trion, Georgia flood to most of the world. Estimates said that 750 to 850 people had to be evacuated, and we had one fatality when a man was caught in a low area of Tate Road near Welcome Hill. He got his family out of their almost submerged car, but he was swept away with the current. Rescue squads did a tremendous job. The Chattooga County Sheriff with Sheriff Gary McConnell directing the efforts. Trion Police and Maintenance Departments worked wonders to help the situation. Sightseers from miles around rushed to our area, clogging the open roads and streets. Many barricades had to be set up by officers from Walker, Gordon, and Floyd counties. Clean drinking water was rushed in by the Coca-Cola Company and Red Food stores, as local pumps and power was cut to most places in Trion. Operation in the Regal Mill was suspended when motors were shorted in the flooding, with estimated restart times set for 7 to 10 days. Memories were recalled to 1948 or 1955, March of 1968, or possibly the worst ever of 1951. However, all of these can be erased from memory now. The newest, hardest memory of all, February the 16th, 1990. Now then, it's up to the courage, the willingness, and the spirit that has always been a Trion tradition. And from the efforts and help everyone from all over the area, we will be back better than ever. This video made, the story written and narrated by T. Emmett Nunn.